it's like we are human, but you gotta evolve, because if you don't evolve, you're gonna be like left there stuck. I mean, you gotta think about it. It's like we are going to go through evolution, and we're gonna talk different. We're gonna move different. So when you don't understand the conversation and you don't get past that aspect, you're left caveman dumb. And when people have computer logic, when they think, they tend to get more towards the point and more towards exactly where it needs to go. On top of that, you have to understand that, conversations shift, and, getting to understand the conversation, control the conversation, or even attach to the person's understanding of what you think they believe in and what you need to feed the conversation, that takes intelligence. And then when intelligence grows, it creates a whole nother source of wisdom coded within the knowledge that it withheld. So what you got to do is you got to evolve and you got to grow. Now, when you grow and evolve, you got to understand the only thing that's going to beat you in this world is going to be what? AI, artificial replacement. So when artificial replacement replaces you, you got to realize that it's already at the end of the spectrum, because it's taking everything a human knows and adding its own algorithm to it, what it is and what it is to grow. But as a human, you can get smarter because you have feeling and emotion, and that's what's going to beat you. That's what you're going to do to be a computer, the feeling and emotion. A computer will never have feeling and emotion. A computer will only do logic and other random patterns that it know. And with those random patterns that it know, it can probably add ghost code to it. But I don't know if the ghost code is real. So that would be giving a spirit to a computer. Now, if a computer does study the mannerism of a human, which is organic, and may get organic code from a human's repetitive patterns and understand what those patterns does. But again, it needs to get that information from something of a source, something like a human. So a computer can never just get ghost code and be a emotion without having to have a data input of what the motion of action is. Energy, emotion. So the furthest thing from a human is a computer. A computer can replace a human, but a human cannot replace a computer. A computer can be upgraded. A computer has logic. A dumb person cannot beat a computer. So understanding where we're going, there's certain things you're supposed to know and not know. So when you're asked not to bite a certain tree of knowledge, you have to understand what tree that knowledge comes from. What tree? Think about tree. Just think about the tree. And think about the knowledge. There's so much attachment, but it's so simple though. There's so much attachment, but it's so simple though. There's so much attachment, but it's so simple though. I tend to understand the way it works. It's all numbers because everything has a chance of happening. So if everything has a chance of happening, whether being created by molecules or having a timing on when things need to happen, as far as odds, then that can happen. Because that's a numbers game. But now, since you know it's a numbers can be controlled and manipulated, which can create an algorithm, which is artificial, hence nature. You shouldn't be able to control variables, because if you control variables, that makes you not even normal. Especially things of elements you're not supposed to be controlling, because now you're controlling other things that don't need to be controlled by something that is controlling it. That's taking the normal out of normal. You're taking the element out of the element. You can't take the element out of the element. Stop messing with the element. Leave the elements alone. Let it naturally happen. Now, the fact that you can do something about it and you feel you can do something about it kind of changes the situation, because you can't do nothing about an element. Now you want to mess with it, that's the problem right there. How are you going to be a boundary or a border and just change to a median? Certain forms and shapes can't take. It's not supposed to, which means certain things can be done. Certain things shouldn't be done. And just because certain things could be done don't mean it should be done. You do not see fish jumping out of water to walk on land like that. But you want to create a fish to jump out of water to walk on land like that. So what aspect of reality are you creating? And just the thought of having those thoughts thought up, what aspect of that is reality? Where does that come from? Who originated that? I need to get rid of the things that have thoughts up, especially that's not in the positive way. I'm done with the things that's already doing it because you're dumb. But the things that's making the things doing it, I'm looking for those. But the things that's making those things do the things that the other things are doing, I definitely need that to find out what you're doing and stop that. There's a destination. Always in a rush to get there. The only thing that can beat a human is a computer. Once everything is like that, it's a a wrap. There's no more human. The average person doesn't have the logic to understand, or nor so the willpower to do anything about anything. Subject to everything. Willing to feel and tell everything, but can't do nothing. It's the ability to do. So I had to think, why was Eve in the equation? Why was Eve in the equation off top? Why was Eve in the equation? Because Eve is the variable in life that has to be addressed and noticed. It was at the top of the chain as far as the effects that she has in control. But she has to also thought as far as being there as that, what else contributes to the existence of Eve and what was done, or at least represented by the Eve. What did the Eve do? What did Adam's Eve do? So that's just another variable in the equation of things that can happen to you in the world, which makes it a numbers game. Down to the positions of the pyramids. That's how much of a numbers game it is. To the positions of a period, to this time that I'm talking, to the acknowledgement of nobody still know how that got done, to the fact it was down to the position of the pyramids, which match up with Orion's belt in the desert. And at that time, they couldn't even lift the things. At this time, we can't even lift the things. And that's logical. The size of that, compared to anything else in the world, it's a numbers game still. It has a size. It's a cycle. Everything can happen, will happen. Everything that can do, will don't, will break, will happen. Nothing cannot not happen. Somewhere it can happen. Somewhere the words of that word has nothing on the scale to like where those places are. Because I haven't even experienced all those places. So when I say somewhere, I don't mean any place you could think of. Because the logic of the average human can't think of. So the mass on that and the capacity of that.
You holding up my ops, you affecting my deals. Get out my way and get yours. I respect how you feel. Gotta get these haters off my back and get these fakes out my grill. Gotta get these haters off my back and get these fakes out my grill. Can't have you holding up my ops, you affecting my deals. Get out my way and get yours. I respect how you feel. Gotta get these haters off my back and get these fakes out my grill. Gotta get these haters off my back and get these fakes out my grill. Gotta get these dogs off the yards. Gotta get these cats out the porch. Gotta bring the truth to the light. That's why I run with the torch. Gotta get these okays and maybes out my way so I can showcase my flow, but get them off my toes.